Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, he was jailed for abusing their baby.
My sister had broken legs, broken arms.
They found lacerations inside the mouth.
Now,
I have no idea why my mom would go back and date such a terrible man that hurt her baby.
they're dating again.
When you went away, the injuries stopped.
I don't know anything about that.
If he did do anything, he didn't mean to hurt her.
This doesn't happen from playing patty cake. This suggests that the baby has been shaken or tossed. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Well, by the time baby Victoria was 3 months old, she had suffered 8 fractures, numerous bruises, lacerations to her mouth, and blood on her brain. In 2007, her father Ron was convicted of causing those injuries, and he spent 6 years in jail for aggravated assault, recklessly endangering another person, and endangering the welfare of a child. But Ron is saying that he is innocent and would never harm a child, especially his own. Victoria's big sister, Alyssa, disagrees. And she says that she is 100% convinced Ron abused her little sister, no question. Now, to make matters worse, her mother, Clara, and Ron are dating again. And Alyssa is furious. She is furious that she has let this man that she believes brutally abused her little sister back into their lives.
My relationship with my mom is broken, damaged. We used to have a great bond. Since she's gotten into this relationship, we've had nothing. I have no idea why my mom would go back and date such a terrible man that hurt her baby. 12 years ago, the abuse happened to my sister Victoria when she was only 6 weeks old. 3 separate times. Victoria had broken legs, broken arms, she had lacerations in her mouth, she had brain hemorrhaging, broken ribs, and yet my mom's boyfriend, Ron, he still says he didn't do it. You can't tell me 12 people on the jury found him guilty and he didn't touch her. I believe he is 100% guilty. To this day, he has never admitted it. I gave her the ultimatum. Pick me or pick Ron. And she just shrugged her shoulders. Ron was found guilty in January of 2007 of abuse, and he was locked away for 6 years.
10 months ago, he came back into the picture, and I was shocked.
My mom and I
used to talk and laugh and do everything that she says she's doing with Ron, but now she just kind of forgot about me.
The day I moved to college, it was 6:30 in the morning. She walks in the door stumbling, wearing Ron's sweatshirt, and I was like, you reek of alcohol. I was pissed off because Victoria was right there.
And if I confront her, I cry, and then she just storms off and is like, I guess I'm just a terrible mother.
She knows we all hate him, yet she still sits at the dining room table and talks, oh, Ron and I did this the other day, like we don't give a If I were to say anything to Ron, it'd be just get out of my life. You have done way too much, and you deserve to go to hell for it. She's 100% gonna defend him to her grave.
You're shocked that your mother has brought him back into your life.
100%. I never thought I'd see that man again.
And do you have remembrance of him?
I remember him being vulgar and loud and shouting at me whenever I was 5, and it was just awful.
He was a drunk.
Yes.
And he doesn't deny that part. Now, your mother had a problem with drugs and alcohol, correct?
Drugs.
Drugs.
Yes.
Okay, but you say she's been clean and sober for a long time, right?
Correct.
Until he came back into her life?
I'm not 100% sure if she's using again. I know that she has had a drinking problem in the past couple months since she's been with him.
You say in April that she told you that she was in love with Ron again.
Yes.
What'd you say?
I put my head down. She said it right before I was about to give a speech at my banquet for a program for first-generation college students. I was about to give a speech, and I was flabbergasted. I didn't know what to say.
Well, when she started seeing him again, did you say, wait a minute, you're talking about the man that spent 6 years in prison
Right.
for brutally abusing your daughter, my little sister. What did she say about that?
She insisted that if he did do it, then it was not intentional and I should quit holding a grudge against him.
If he did it, what do you mean if he did it? Didn't she
She-
testify at the time that he did it?
I'm unsure. I know that she paid for his lawyer.
At the time?
Yes, she sold a car and paid for his lawyer.
Wow. So does your little sister know what he did to her? Because she was
Yes.
an infant at the time.
Yes.
Who told her?
Well, my mother did tell her why they were separated. There was abuse and he had gone to jail for it, but I was the one that told her, yeah, Victoria, you had broken bones. Like, you were so small and he hurt you worse than what you're probably thinking.
Okay. So your mother told her why they had split up.
Yes.
You told her more about it.
She came to me and asked, yes.
She came to you and asked. And how old is she now?
She's 12.
Okay. And she gets the gravity of what happened when she was younger.
Yes.
Okay. Now, she doesn't bring him around your little sister, does she?
Oh, Ron?
Yeah.
Of course. That's how they started seeing each other again, because she was introduced to her father, and that's how my mom and him started to reconnect. But it was all supervised visits, and I even thought at the time it was a good idea because Victoria needed grounding. She needed to understand this is my other side of my family, because she had a void there in her heart.
Your little sister can be home and she might just come in with him?
No, he's not welcome at the house.
So you've made that clear. Who put that boundary up?
My grandmother.
This is your grandmother right here?
Yeah.
Okay. And Marion, you've put the boundary up, correct?
Yes.
And what did you say about it?
I told Carla he can never come here. I haven't seen him in 12 years. I don't want to see him.
Okay. When you put the boundary up, said, no, he's not welcome here, why? What was in your head at the time?
As far as I was concerned, it's this man that hurt my grandbaby. I don't even understand what's going on. I don't know why she's seeing him. It's just baffling.
Did you ask her about that? Did you say what you just said to me? This is a
Yes.
man that hurt my grandbaby, your daughter. How could you be with him?
She said, I'm in love with him.
This is a man that has been convicted of brutally injuring an infant, a tiny baby. He spent 6 years in prison, and your mother even testified. I have the court record where she says, yeah, I think he did it. And she now is okay to not only be with him, but bring him around this child again. Next, Alyssa says she told her mother, it's me or the man who abused my little sister. Carla says Ron is not going anywhere and Alyssa just needs to be understanding. Well, Carla's here. We're going to talk to her next.
Alyssa disapproves of Ron.
Did you think about marrying him?
Someday, I would like to.
I'm gonna throw up.
She has given me an ultimatum. It's me or him.
And later,
You're supposed to do what's best for your kids as a mom. Why is he still in our lives?
He's not in your lives. He's in my life.
She's not a parent in our lives. She would go out 4 to 5 nights a week. I ended up writing X's on the calendar whenever she would go out. She's turned into a teenager. She gets to go out partying, but I have to work night shift. She's ignoring her children. She's not a loving and devoted mother. She doesn't cook or clean. She does nothing. I don't know why she would sacrifice us for him again.
Well, Alyssa's mother, Clara, says if Ron did harm their baby girl, Victoria, over a decade ago, it was an accident. And Alyssa just needs to move on from the past. Take a look.
My daughter, Alyssa, is poisoning my relationship with Ron. Alyssa disapproves of Ron. Alyssa has accused me of going out partying and drinking. She calls me, "You better get home right now." It upsets me that she's trying to control me when I'm her mother. You're mean to me.
Why? Why
I
am I
don't
mean?
like it. You want to control me, and I'm not doing what you want. Alyssa tells me that she's most upset that I'm with Ron because of the assault with Victoria. She has given me an ultimatum. It's me or him. Victoria was born premature. One time, we were giving her a bath, and I said, "Look at her upper thigh." I said, "Doesn't it look a little red and swollen?" They did x-rays. They discovered that it was a broken femur. They found 8 total broken bones. So I automatically thought Ron had to have done it. He bounced her on his leg too hard. He clapped her hands too hard. The police came up and interviewed Ron and myself. They were telling him, "I know you did this. You're an alcoholic, you have DUI." They asked me, "Who do you think did this?" And I said, "Ron." It was an accident.
Anything hard enough to break her bones
Yeah.
is abuse.
When Ron and I got back together last year, I told Alyssa that she was okay at first, but then I was a bad mother. I leave 3 nights a week to see Ron. She'll text me to get home now.
Victoria says to me, she's like, "Why can't Mom just stay home and watch a movie with us?"
I do.
You don't.
Did you think about marrying him?
Someday, I would like to.
I'm gonna throw up. If I were to go to that wedding, I'd just say I object.
It'd be nice if Alyssa could forgive Ron. I understand if she can't forget. I want her to be able to get past the past.
Okay, thank you for being here. Your daughter was abused at a very young age, correct?
Something happened, yes.
Something happened. What do you mean something happened?
Whether it was abuse or an accident, yes, she was hurt. I know they found him guilty for it. He said he didn't do it.
What kind of accidents do 4, 5, 6, 7-week-old babies have?
No, I'm not saying this. She had an accident. I was saying if it was an accident that someone hurt her by accident.
And help me understand that. How does
I had said at the trial how I've seen him be too rough with her. She was only a 4-pound baby.
You don't believe he did anything to her?
No, I did not actually say that.
An accident?
Yeah, like not purposely done. He was patty caking her or whatever and bouncing her on his leg, but if he did do anything, he didn't mean to hurt her.
Well, let's look at what happened to the baby. I want to take a look at the injuries here. Before 9 weeks old, they found a healed rib fracture at the base of the left lung. Then, at 9 weeks old, they found 2 areas of hemorrhage with blood on the brain. Okay? They found lacerations inside the mouth. That's upper gums, lower gums, under the tongue, and blood coming from the mouth. Then they found bruises on the right temple, the right elbow, the lower abdomen, and the left cheek. Now, you've got 2 areas of hemorrhage with blood on the brain, so this sounds very much like shaken baby. Like someone has shaken this baby here.
Or that couldn't happen by bouncing hard on the knee too hard?
No. You've got lacerations inside the mouth.
Yes.
That doesn't happen from playing patty cake. It doesn't happen from bouncing on a knee. This suggests that the baby has been shaken or tossed. That happens by somebody being very impatient and shoving a bottle inside a baby's mouth to the point that it cuts their gums and their lips, to the point that they bleed. Right?
It would have to.
At 10 weeks old, there's a right femur that's broken.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's a broken leg.
I know, I took her to the hospital.
Okay, at 12 weeks old, the right thigh is red and swollen. Cause, there's an old fracture that's healing, and there are calcium deposits that are starting to show up. Mm-hmm. This child was battered across time. They asked you about this at trial, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's what you said at trial. You said, well, he got mad when Victoria cried. You said he's alcoholic, we fought a lot. Not physical, but yelling. You said he struck things when he was mad, like the wall and the door. He punched the guitar. He treated Victoria roughly. Once bounced her on his knee too hard. He grabbed Victoria's head. The ring left a bruise on her forehead. He yelled to the point that you didn't leave him with Victoria, right?
I wasn't really alone with her. Yeah.
They asked you if you thought he did it. You said, yes, Ron's guilty. And that he told you that he saw a ghost that told him to hurt the baby?
Yes.
So that was his explanation for hurting the baby, as a ghost told him to.
No, he didn't hurt the baby. He told me one night he's seen a ghost and it was telling him to hurt the baby or something, from what I recall.
And then the baby winds up hurt.
Yeah.
Do you want to know the truth?
Yeah, I would love to know the truth, but it's been so long. I just don't think we'll ever know exactly what happened.
Does it sound like an accident when you look in detail at what happened?
Not the way you describe it.
We're going to take a break. Ron claims Alyssa is waging a war against him because she wants to break up his relationship with Carla. He insists he is innocent. And he says Alyssa needs to stop turning his daughter Victoria against him. Well, we're going to talk to him after the break.
Alyssa, she's sneaky, she's controlling, and she's nasty and mean. Alyssa has told my daughter that I broke her arm, I broke her rib. I never did anything to Victoria.
What I love about Ron the most is he makes me laugh. We have so much fun together. Ron and I are like best friends. Ron still gives me butterflies. I love Ron, so it's easy for me to get over and forgive for what happened, especially because I know that he didn't do anything purposely to hurt her. I can't help that I love him. I do want to be with Ron forever.
Now, Ron claims he never hurt Victoria and says Alyssa needs to stop spreading lies. He's maintained his innocence from day one. Take a look.
Alyssa, she's sneaky, she's controlling, and she's nasty and mean.
I cannot stand Ron. I won't subject myself to being around him ever again.
Alyssa definitely doesn't want me dating her mom. Carla is the love of my life, and I've never loved anybody like Carla before. Alyssa is definitely trying to destroy mine and my daughter, Victoria's relationship. Alyssa has told Victoria that I broke her arm, I broke her rib. I never did anything to Victoria.
I said, no, Victoria, he broke your legs, he broke your arms, your ribs were broken, you had hemorrhaging in your brain.
I'm not sure exactly what happened to her. We took her to doctors like all the time, and then they ended up pinning this on me. I was offered 2 to 4 years for a plea agreement, and I told him I'm not taking a plea agreement for something I didn't do. They found me guilty within 5 minutes.
I know that he wouldn't have done it on purpose.
I wasn't in contact with Carla until like a year ago. Carla and Victoria started coming over to the house, and we would have pizza like on Fridays. Alyssa is jealous of her mom being with me.
I have no reason to be jealous of Ron.
We've been talking about getting married. Then what? Well, Alyssa, she's never gonna really let me in 100%.
Well, joining us now via Polycom is Ron, and you've been listening to everything so far.
Yes, I have, unfortunately. I've said I was innocent from day one.
There's an affidavit of probable cause that was part of these proceedings. It says, Ron, he stated that he may have done this to Victoria. He was given a chance to take a polygraph examination to prove this story. Ron stated that he did not need to take a polygraph because he was willing to say that he injured Victoria. Ron was informed of the consequences of making such a statement. He stated that he was the one that injured Victoria. When asked if he could promise this would not happen again, he stated that it would not.
I've never even said any of that. The DA and the detective, they came to the hospital, and then they were like saying they knew that I did this. And I told them, you know, I didn't do it. And they said, well, you have DUIs and we know you're a drug addict. And I said, no. And they just kept yelling at me. And I said to them, whatever you say. They kept saying that I did it. They were yelling at me. So finally I said, whatever you say.
Why would you do that if you didn't do it?
Because I was tired of arguing with them.
Were you drinking a lot at the time?
Here and there, yeah, I guess.
Were you an alcoholic at the time?
Yes.
How do you know you didn't get drunk and do something?
Because I'm not like that. And as far as drinking, there's days where I would drink maybe 3, maybe 6, maybe on a weekend or something, 9. You know, if you drink 1, 2 beers a week, you're considered an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, one of the things I look at from a forensic standpoint of piecing these things together when I've been in that situation is when you were arrested, when you went away, the injuries stopped. There were no more injuries to this child.
Well, I don't know anything about that. I know it don't look good for me. I understand that. But, you know, maybe somebody else was hurting her, and then when I had to take the fall for it and they put me away, maybe they stopped.
That's certainly possible.
Any doubt that I may have had that Ron did this to her, just lost every doubt. He lost his temper and he hurt her.
Closed captioning provided by Carla's mom, Marion, says she believes Ron is 100% guilty of abusing her granddaughter. She says he is not allowed in her home and no one in the family wants to be around him.
I think the relationship is totally toxic for the grandchildren. Carla does prefer to spend time with Ron instead of her own children.
Every night that you leave and go there, she says to you, "What? Mom, do you have to go there? You can sit here and watch TV with me." She's 12.
Carla 100% knows that I do not like the relationship. Ron's not making Carla date him. Carla chose to. Victoria is very upset because she doesn't want her mom and Ron dating.
Victoria comes in my room at night, Carla.
I try to talk
She
to
comes
her.
in
What
crying.
does she tell you?
She yells at her mother and doesn't want her mother to go.
It seems like you're literally not putting yourself in your kid's shoes. You're only thinking about what Carla wants.
Carla and Ron's relationship has damaged Alyssa. I've not seen Ron since Victoria went to the hospital.
It just destroyed our family.
I am afraid that Carla's not going to have a relationship with either one of her girls.
Well, I'll always be there for my kids, no matter what.
If Carla would say, no, I'm not going to date Ron, problem fixed.
Is she being unreasonable to be concerned about this?
I think so.
Well, Alyssa says a family trip to the lake ended with Ron getting drunk and yelling at Victoria recently. Let's take a look.
We took Victoria to the lake over the summer to have a good day. It turned out to be an awful day.
Ron had 2 large alcoholic beverages hidden in the trunk.
He got really mad and using at her and everything, and I've done everything to please you.
He got upset and was trying to tell Victoria, I didn't do this to you, but he used the word when he was talking to her, and she got upset and come running to me, crying.
He started screaming at Victoria that he didn't touch her, Alyssa's a liar, nothing happened, I didn't touch you, I didn't abuse you.
Trying to show her he didn't do what he supposedly was found guilty for, and he just did it. He just lost his temper.
It was my fault. I actually got a buzz and I guess I said word a couple times, which was wrong of me. And I admit it, and I haven't drunk around her since, and I won't.
Oh, Victoria didn't want to see Ron after that happened.
This did not help me. I admit it.
It made everything worse. With Alyssa, with Victoria, with Ron, with me, my mother. It was not great.
Marion, what'd you make of that?
When Victoria came to me about what happened at the lake, any doubt that I may have had that Ron did this to her when she was a baby, just lost every doubt. If he could do that to her at the lake, she's 12 years old. He's trying to prove to her he could be a good dad. And he just did what he says he wouldn't do. He lost his temper and he hurt her.
What was your reaction?
He didn't change.
What was your reaction?
I was upset about it. I haven't really taken her around him much since.
Now you're not bringing her around him, so why is he still in our lives?
He's not in your lives, he's in my life.
You're supposed to do what's best for your kids as a mom.
Which I do.
Which you don't.
We're going to take a break. Alyssa says that if her mother tries to marry Ron, she will stand up and say, yes, I do object. So the question is, will Carla choose Ron over her children? I mean, is it coming down to that kind of a question? We'll be right back. Closed captioning provided by What do you expect your mother to do? What do you think she should do here?
I want Victoria to have supervised visits. I want her father in her life because I know how hard it was to grow up without one. And I want them to quit being in a romantic relationship. If, like my grandmother said, if they want to be together, they will wait until the children are grown. It's not a jealousy problem because we just looked at all of the facts of it. He's not a good guy for her. If she was getting engaged to someone that had like a good job and he was great around kids and, you know, he took us out to the movies and we all had a fun time, no record, I wouldn't have any problem. I'd go with her. I'd have fun with him. We'd have family nights. This is not a family.
Does it matter to you whether he's guilty or not? If in fact,
Yes.
he in a drunken rage injured your baby,
Yes, that would matter to me.
do you accept that those injuries are consistent with assault of some sort?
I don't know. I know that's your professional opinion,
Well-
but I also know how much I've researched, too.
Okay.
That people are put away for child abuse with premature babies all the time because they were, sometimes there's problems with them and they were broken ribs or whatever during birth. And then even after that, like if they're handled strongly, it can easily happen.
Do you have any explanation for how this baby got lacerations in its mouth?
I think it was from a bottle or a Benke, yeah.
Alcohol was involved at the time if he was just even being rough with the baby, right?
Yeah, probably.
And he's back in her life now.
Not
and
really now.
And he's drinking again and being rough with her emotionally.
He did once.
That was a bad day, right, Ron?
Well, I admit. But what you have to understand is as I was talking to her, I was talking loud to her, and I might have said sentences like, Victoria, you have to believe that I didn't do this. Now, I shouldn't have said that, but to her mother and to her daughter, meaning Alyssa and Marion, that doesn't mean that I beat on kids because I didn't change.
Well, I have no idea what Carla is going to do, but I want to give some advice to Alyssa and a definition to Carla when we come back. When it comes to a child, particularly one that has been the subject of abuse, putting someone around her that might have abused her, I mean, the fact that somebody might have abused her is enough of a criteria for me to say that I'm going to just be really careful. If Robin and I have 2 children, and if there was somebody in our life that might have given them a brain hemorrhage, might have broken their leg, might have broken their ribs, might have lacerated their mouth, might have done that, There's a lot of people in this world that I would pick before I would have the person that might have done that around them. And there's some reason for you to consider that, because you have some legal requirements here, because one of the definitions of child abuse has to do with negligence, and that definition is failing to protect a child in his or her care from inflicted physical, mental, or sexual injury caused by the acts of another. And Ron, my advice to you is this. You're her father. Look, you are convicted of having abused this child, aggravated assault. Your only choice is to avoid even the appearance of impropriety. I'm not going to do anything wrong. I'm not going to do anything that can even be colored as wrong in this situation. And I'm going to tell you, you are a target, man. You are a target. So you have to avoid anything that can even be spun as being wrong here. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
And I am going to get you some professional help in the form of a family counselor that can really help you unravel this and try to build a bridge with your daughter here, and give Victoria some help so she knows how to position all of this. But you need to bend over backwards to give her every opportunity to heal any problems that she has in her heart. And don't sacrifice your relationship with either one of your daughters over this. I mean, there's a right way and a wrong way to do anything that you choose to do. And I'm going to get you some help to navigate that terrain. I hope you continue to advocate for your sister. I hope you let her know that she can call you at any time and talk to you at any time. And if you get in a bind and you need help, I hope you reach out to me anytime, and we will get you the help and the resources that you need. As I did with Carla and Alyssa, I always do my best to help people improve their lives. And coming up, a football legend has a message that could literally save your life. You don't want to miss this. Next. Closed captioning provided by... Well, today I'm talking about something very important for baby boomers out there, me included, and that's getting vaccines. They are not just for children. Now, joining me to shed some light on why we, slightly older folks, need vaccines is my good friend, the Chief Medical Officer of Pfizer, Dr. Frieda Lewis-Hall. So welcome.
Thank you.
Dr. Frieda, Pfizer has a special campaign to educate older adults about getting their vaccines. So tell us about it.
It's called All About Your Boom. And the goal of it is to educate boomers about the importance of vaccines, particularly the vaccine for pneumococcal pneumonia.
Right.
And we think it's really important to help dispel some of the myths that older people may hold about vaccines.
And I understand Pfizer's spokesperson for All About Your Boom is football legend, actor, NFL analyst, and a good friend of mine, Terry Bradshaw. And in case you didn't know, Terry was quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, won 4 Super Bowl titles, and was named Super Bowl MVP twice. He was definitely a force to be reckoned with on the football field, but now he's a force in this vital campaign to keep people over 65 healthy, right?
His schedule is so busy being a TV football analyst, but recently I was able to catch up with him in New York, and we had a chance to chat about All About Your Boom.
Well, let's take a look.
Thank you so much for joining me. First of all, I just cannot believe that it's been 30 plus years since you retired from professional football, and you live such an active lifestyle.
I'm not ready to start dying, so I live a very active life, and I enjoy it.
Now, and you're living an active life, but I know that you've had some health challenges.
You have to stay on top of your health. How can I live a healthy, productive life? And one of the ways is regular visits to see my doctor.
How did you end up involved with Pfizer and the All About Your Boom campaign?
The All About Your Boom campaign is to educate adults that are 65 or older about their increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia and the importance of talking to their doctors about all CDC recommended adult vaccinations. And so when Pfizer came along, I said, absolutely, I'm your guy.
And I hear you're doing it in an interesting way.
Well, kind of. Hello, everyone. I'm Terry Bradshaw. I'm here to talk to you about my new thing. You ready for this? I've got this thing called Bradshaw World. It's funny as all get out. I got all the paperwork. Who's in?
He's lost his mind.
Let me just say thank you for helping to deliver this important health message to boomers. They really need to hear it.
We got to make sure we beat it to the punch. There you are, Doc.
This is wonderful.
Thank you.
And it will be cherished.
Dr. Freed, it's clear Terry's as passionate about educating boomers on getting their vaccines as you are, but you talked about pneumococcal pneumonia. So tell us exactly what it is.
Yep. So pneumococcal pneumonia is the most common cause of bacterial pneumonia. It's a potentially serious lung disease that can be passed from one person to another with coughing or close contact. And in serious cases, it can be life-threatening.
So how great is the risk of getting pneumococcal pneumonia?
So, you know, many people don't think that healthy adults are at risk for getting this disease because as we age, our immune system weakens, and this increases our risk for potentially getting serious infections like pneumococcal pneumonia.
Yeah.
And people over the age of 65 are 10 times more likely to be hospitalized with this disease than people who are ages 18 to 49.
So what are the symptoms?
So fever and chills, a cough, difficulty breathing or rapid breathing, and chest pain. Now, these symptoms and physical effects can really impact you for weeks at a time or longer, take you out of your routine, and in serious cases can land you in the hospital. And the thing about pneumococcal pneumonia is it can strike anywhere, anytime, and with little warning.
If we're in flu season, I imagine it's a good time to get these vaccines.
Absolutely. It is a perfect time, at least to have a conversation with your doctor and your pharmacist about staying up to date with the vaccines that the CDC recommends for older adults. And that includes the flu vaccine, because the flu can be a serious and even life-threatening disease, especially for older people. But also to have a chance to talk about vaccines for other potentially serious diseases. And people say, you know, well, why do you all keep talking about it? Well, we keep talking about it because the adult vaccination rate remains low. According to the CDC, less than 19% of adults 65 and older are fully vaccinated for pneumococcal disease.
Seriously?
As of 2016.
Seriously?
No, so this is an important issue. And so if you are 65 or over or care about someone who is 65 or older, check out the campaign on All About Your Boom to start a vaccination conversation with your doctor or with your pharmacist and really get this moving. And while you're there, you could actually see Terry's entire video on Bradshaw's World, which I have to agree with him is really funny, but it's also really informative.
So you can go to allaboutyourboom.com, right?
Yes.
And of course, for any health-related issues or issues and questions, you got to also check out gethealthystayhealthy.com.
And of course, while you're there, you can sign up for our monthly newsletter so the information can come to you.
Yeah. All right, I want to thank all of my guests today, especially Terry Bradshaw and Dr. Frida Lewis Hall. If you have a story of life situation that you need my help, I'd love to hear from you. Just email me at drphil.com and just tell me all about it. Or if you'd like to be a part of our studio audience, the tickets are free. Just go to my website and click on Get Tickets, or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.